I think the whole narrative has been around for a long time. When we did a series in the perspective, Randy Turner wrote a beautiful 3-part series that we called it The Day the Jets Died. And I think we always thought in the back of our mind that if they ever came back, it would be one hell of a story.
It's got a lot of the elements in it of movies you go to see. There's heartbreak, there's love lost, there's tears, and then now this reunion. I think it's a story actually that in our lifetime, when you look back at it, when you look at watershed moments in our community, this is going to be one right up there. Only it's going to be a rare good news story.
The Winnipeg Free Press photographers and reporters have been at every single Jets home game, whether it's WHA or the NHL. They have been to every single practice held in Winnipeg from the very beginning, and we basically have the history of the NHL in Winnipeg in our building.
We never thought of anybody but Randy to write this book. We had already kind of used him often to write big narrative pieces. So he was the one we went to as soon as the story came up. It was Randy who was going to write it.
Well, just had to be asked, because it's a project that you'd jump at the chance at. I'd never done anything like that before, but just growing up in Manitoba, going through all that the Jets went through over the years, that's something that you'd never turn an opportunity like that down. I just kind of take pleasure in telling stories. The joy in me is to tell it, to listen to other people's stories, and then just tell them and have hopefully many people as possible would enjoy them.
Through his research, he discovered all kinds of bizarre coincidences and synergies with it. So we ended up being, all of us who kind of thought we knew this story were continually surprised at the stuff he came up with. So it was just a really exciting read.
I admit, when I started to do the book, one of the things I think I would have a problem with after '96 to today when it came back, because this is a story about the Jets. So there's a 15-year void there, I thought. How do you gap that? It turns out that to me is the most interesting part of the entire story, is the Moose, the formation of the Moose, the building of the arena. The story of Craig Heisinger, who after the last Jets game was an equipment manager who was in tears, vacuuming out the locker, like the carpet in the old arena. So there's very rare occasions where a guy would be an equipment manager who is vacuuming out his the stall of a team. Then when it would come back years later, it would not be the GM but hire the GM.
I had individually edited approximately 72,000 individual frames. We created 650 pictures to choose from for the book, and that goes through 5 generations of Free Press photographers, starting with Jack Ablett and ending with, which is a real bonus, was the first Johan Thordarson intern who worked here this summer, got a picture from the celebrations, and Hadas Parouche has got a picture in the book. So there's 5 generations of Free Press photographers that have contributed to this book.
It's funny when you do something like this, you start with this blank page, and to see the finished product in terms of what Gord Priest did. He's our head graphics designer, and like, even as somebody who wrote the words, you see how much more amplified that story is told when there's the art there, there's the actual pictures there, and we've got hundreds and hundreds of them, again dating back to '72.
When Penguin got interested and we realized that there was interest across the country in this story, I think we all got a little bit more excited. Then as Randy's pieces started to come in, and they were coming in a chapter at a time, we started to think we really have a story here. So I think there was a lot of excitement about it, more so than any other book we've had.
We were there the whole time. The Winnipeg Free Press was there the entire time. You know, newspapers have come and gone, like the Tribune, but the Free Press has been consistent throughout that entire period of time. And this book represents that culmination of many, many writers and many, many photographers.